So we're not gonna start with the interview just yet.
Uh, Hello everyone. Me and Yakov here, my new friend. We be talking about what we're talking about.
Well, working conditions at Getir for the most
Get
part,
here and yeah, what is it?
it's basically I'm doing type of a research interview survey kind of thing, and I think I'm gonna explain what exactly this whole thing is about in a second. So
just make sure
basically,
that they can
yeah,
see it.
okay, sure, no worries. Yeah, the study involves interviews with workers and other stakeholders such as platform managers. It's part of a project called Fair Work, which is a collaboration between Oxford University and I think Technical University of Berlin and some other places. And it's basically interviews. The project is based on interviews with workers in 20 different countries. In Germany, they're evaluating about 17 different companies, one of them being Getir. Among other companies, you have like basically platform work, things such as Gorillas, Flink, Lieferando, Volt, Helpling, Amazon Flex, and others. And basically, the purpose, what we're trying to understand through this is the there's different measures that are being evaluated here, such as fairness, and it's all being ranked. Like there's gonna be a ranking that's gonna be released later in the year. And so, as part of the research in Germany, there will be 6 interviews conducted with workers from each of the platforms, and there will be at least 10 to 15 platforms evaluated. The data collected will then be used to write an annual Germany report, which will then be published in coming November, and the findings will be disseminated in conference, scientific publications, podcasts, etc. So the idea is we would like to learn about your work conditions, the terms and conditions of your work, the work relationship with the management, as well as your efforts to connect with your coworkers and everything related to that. So you could actually talk about whatever you want to, but it's all structured.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So for those who don't understand, is like bit of my history is, I had a bit of a breakdown, so I needed to find myself a part-time role and something where I would be physical. So I basically joined this company called Getir, which is a delivery company, which is delivering things. Oh, thank you. We have it in our older
Ich
building.
habe das völlig vergessen gehabt, Bescheid zu sagen. Am Wochenende machen wir normalerweise keinen Tee, aber ich habe dir eine Ausnahme gemacht.
Super, danke dir.
Wird was, der Barmann hat mich schon angemeckert.
Also, okay.
Er meinte, arbeitest du seit gestern schon hier, es ist Freitag.
Echt
Ich habe
jetzt?
das völlig
Okay.
vergessen.
Tut mir leid.
Cool. So the people understood. This is the company Getir and other companies that are named in here. They're essentially companies that do delivering of your orders to different places, like to your home or like Amazon to whichever you want to order. But so it's like quick delivery services, and that's general business model. In my case, this is like deliveries on a push bike, and it's kind of looking into the kind of culture of this gig economy kind of culture, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Let me just get through this. I mean, we're gonna actually get to the things that you were saying right now. We're gonna cover everything. So basically, in the end, the results they will not be shared with anyone using your real name. I mean, the results themselves, they're only.
we're putting this on video. So
It's
okay.
up to you, but I have to say this because it's part of the thing. So all the personal details will be removed. Anything that could potentially identify you will be removed. Of course, if you're making a video, well, that's up to you. But and also the data recorded right now will be stored for 5 years on secure servers. You're also free to decline taking part in this interview. You're free to choose not to answer any questions, and you can also withdraw anytime until October 1st of this year. Yeah, this is weird because there's a video too going on, but
Yeah, basically we prearranged
And-
this whole interview thing. So essentially he has to go through those while he knows that I'm already agreed.
yeah. And at the end of this interview, you will receive 15 euros for your
Well,
participation.
you're buying me a drink, so I'm all right.
Okay. And yeah, so before we begin, do you have any questions?
Well,
Before we begin,
like I
yeah.
said, we already discussed this whole thing
Yeah.
prior, so kind of don't really have any questions.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
do you give me permission to record?
yeah.
Perfect. And can I take notes?
Yes, be my
Perfect.
guest. I mean, this is going on YouTube, right? This is not a
Sure.
professional recording. This is just for a laugh, for my video diary of thoughts on different occasions,
Yeah.
right? I actually sent you my name. Did you find
Yeah,
me
yeah,
on
I
YouTube?
found you. Yeah. I did.
So
I
what
did
do
have a look at a few of the videos, just briefly. I mean, I didn't go through the whole hour
Yeah,
or
yeah,
so,
no,
but like
no,
5 minutes. Okay.
Did you find the one about the British farmers?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll send you a link.
Okay, so let's start with like a short bio of yourself. Like, there's of course specific questions, but you can just like talk briefly about I don't know, like things that I don't know yet. You know, like where you're from, what you're doing, how did you like? Yeah.
Okay, well, my age is still 39.
Okay.
I'm still not that old as what you're written. Okay, I'm nearly 40. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, gender. Well, I have to admit that I'm straight white male. So you know, if you don't like us, I'm a horrible straight white male. But yeah, born actually in USSR still, but I was born in Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic. Which is different than the big USSR. Like knowing history, people who know, they will know that it was very different from the actual rest of USSR. And well, so now I have actually a British nationality. I've got
Okay.
a British passport. I lived in Britain for nearly 20 years. So that was fun times as well. Done a few interesting things there. What else do you need to know?
Yeah, I mean your education maybe, your educational background.
Education, I've got university education, so I have what they call high national diploma. But I also did a few courses, university courses, like which
Yeah,
about
but what do you have like a master's degree, a PhD?
no
or-
high national diploma, which is like
Okay, in the Soviet Union, you mean, or like?
no,
or is
it's
it in the UK?
British.
I have no idea what that is, but whatever.
It's like you don't quite have a degree, but it's kind of just one step below it. So
Okay.
kind of between college and university kind of
I
thing.
gotcha. And yeah. And you were saying you were single, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and when did you come to Berlin?
Berlin, I came to Berlin about 2.5 years ago. 2 years and 3 months ago. So,
And why did you choose to come to Berlin? That's a good question.
actually, a friend of mine who I've known all the way from England. He basically, because I used to live in Brighton in England, which I really enjoyed, and we known each other from Brighton, and he basically said, like, look, you know, Berlin in the culture-wise, and ability to just, you know, just go and chill out, have nice places to go, is like very similar to Brighton. And at the time I lived in Stuttgart, which was a bit of a disaster. So I basically said, okay, fine, you know what, I'm gonna move to Berlin. So that's what I did. Took me some time to find a permanent place to live in.
But you didn't move for work or something. Like you
I
moved
ju- I
because
ju-
you just like fuck this. I'm
I
gonna
just
move to
went,
Berlin.
yeah, I was staying in Stuttgart, it was
Okay.
a disaster. So I was like, look, you know what, rather than staying here and continuing the disaster, let's move to some nicer place. I did move out of England because of Brexit. So if anybody watching this, you know, unlike all the Remainers who complain about England leaving, you know, EU, well, I actually kind of put my money where my mouth was, and I Brexited. I went to Europe from Britain. Not something that I'm happy. I quite enjoyed England. Had lots of friends there, but unfortunately, you have to make the choices.
Yeah. So and currently, I mean, let's get to the current topic. So now you're working at Getir.
Yeah.
This is your only job right now at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're working part time. You were saying?
Yes, I'm only doing 20 hours a week. Well, like for me, it was never a job about making money. For me, it was like after all the lockdowns and everything else, I simply wanted to get out. Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like getting another computer job when you are working from home, you're essentially stuck in your flat for like 24/7. It just drives you crazy. So basically,
And
Yeah.
you started 2 months ago. You were saying.
Yeah, the Getir opened up in June,
Mhm.
right, and I pretty much started the same day.
Mm-hmm. And but this is still like your prior. Although you're not there for money, this is your main income right now.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
at the moment, I've just kind of started looking for new roles,
Mhm.
but this one, I can't really call it an income. I mean, look, guys, technically, right, let's be very technical here. The wage you get from working 20 hours in the jobs like Getir or any companies like this, or whether it's like Amazon delivery services, like, you know, where people who drive the vans for Amazon, from 20 hours a week, the wage you're getting is less than an unemployment benefit you will get for sitting at home and doing absolutely nothing. So, like, this is not an enterprise. I mean,
Yeah.
the way I'm looking at it is, for me, it's like a big gym, and it's a gym that pays me 10.50 an hour. That's all it does. Minus tax, which means that I don't even get 10.50 an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. And before you joined Getir, what were you doing exactly? Like the previous job.
Previous job, I did actually work for as a driver for one of the companies that do deliveries for Amazon for 2 months, no, 2.5 months.
What was that company called?
Uh,
Or it doesn't have like a name as in a word.
Dell something.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's
Driver for.
yeah. Like I said, from about January of the last year, I literally just couldn't stay in my house anymore. I just driving me nuts. So I decided to get out.
Mm. But you basically left that job at Amazon
Yeah.
because it wasn't. I mean, what's like the biggest difference between Getir and Amazon?
Getir is more chilled out.
Okay,
Getir, like, look,
so like, sorry, let me rephrase the question. Like, why did you quit the job at Amazon and come to Getir?
because they basically, I didn't quit. They actually fired me because, and this
Okay.
is a brilliant one, because I wouldn't be able to run like 200 packets a day, which I openly admitted for Amazon, because they were like, look, man, you know, the Amazon, basically, so that people understood the story, right? I was gonna make a video about working for Amazon, but if we're already here, like, fuck it. Amazon, when I started in doing those deliveries, it's a small company that Amazon ships their deliveries to. And it was about the time when Amazon got in trouble for their drivers in US when they were telling people how they have to pee in the bottles and things like
Yeah.
this. Right, and that was the time when I started, essentially. Just so for about months and a half, Amazon has actually made much smaller deliveries. So they would give people much, like, you know, like 150 packets, you know, 170 packets a day. Right, and I was at the time like heavily overweight. Like, if I'm overweight now, like back then I was like in a very bad state basically after nearly a year of lockdown. So I was struggling. And the fact that you quite often have to essentially do deliveries, well, the area where we were doing deliveries, you had to basically quite often go up and down to the sixth floor with just one box, and you'd have like, you know, 150 addresses, and you'd have to run up, and many of them would be like no elevators, nothing. So you have to run up and down stairs. So there's a reason why many Amazon deliveries are not going as well as they claim to be. But overall, like I say, it was just kind of something where you physically at the time, they said, look, you know, you're really nice, you're really trying, you're really growing, you're making faster and faster deliveries. But at that point of time, Amazon just went, look, we got out of trouble for the stuff we had with the drivers. People slowly moved on from the subject. People stopped paying attention. They stopped looking at Amazon. And the Amazon went, okay, look, you know, we are out of the trouble. So now I'm going to start giving you again 200 boxes a day. And I had to admit that, look, guys, sorry, I'm not gonna do that. No way I can do that. And I didn't come here to literally kill myself running up and down the stairs. So, like, yeah, if you want me to go, I'm going. I'm not really gonna get too upset. The guys who in that small company I worked with, they're really cool, really fun guys. Again, really chilled out because it's like literally kind of.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of irrelevant, but don't you actually work by yourself as a driver?
Yeah, you work by yourself as a driver, but like again, it's like you always keep in touch. Like you come there to pick things up. You come there to like bring back some boxes. You like talk to people obviously everywhere, and also like quite often you would get like somebody calling you from the office and say, hey, we see that you're slower with your packages than we expected you to be, so they will say how we have like what they call as rescue drivers.
Okay.
So the rest they would send somebody like to come and do the rescue, as they say, and they would basically pick up some of your packages and do the delivery. So things like this. So you always have the communication, but also have to do lots of running.
And then you came to Getir because you knew before you came there that it's going to be chiller. I mean, you chose Getir. You didn't go to Gorillas or Flink or.
I knew that I wanted to start originally to work at Gorillas, but at the time when I wanted to do that, Gorillas were just opening and they still like had like crazy requirements for how fast you have to be on the bike and things like this.
What do you mean? Like you were thinking about Gorillas?
Before
like
I started
last year.
Yeah, like
okay.
not last year, but before I started doing deliveries for Amazon, right? One of the companies I applied for was Gorillas, but back then they just started up and they basically expected you to do like a certain distance in the area where they delivered in a certain time. And
so you wanted the interview and it didn't work out because
and it didn't work out.
They were I see.
And after that, like after I was leaving the company I worked for, which was doing deliveries for Amazon, I saw Getir started advertising essentially for what they wanted for the driver, the riders, and I was like, okay, look, it's gonna be riding on the bicycle. I was like, I'll give it a shot. It's a summertime, I'm gonna sound incredibly sexist right now, but I thought it would be like summertime, sunshine, fresh air, you're riding a bicycle. They did advertise that they provide their own bicycles.
Yeah.
So this was one of the kind of things that I was like, that's great. They provide their own stuff. I don't have to ride my own bike. But so it's like sunshine, fresh air, women that are dressed in the nice summer clothes instead of winter gray unisex clothes. So it's like basically like it seemed like a perfect job for like start and do it.
I see. And you work right now in the warehouse here in Friedrichshain.
Yeah.
But like your delivery area, where do you deliver to? I know, like I've heard from other people that they deliver to Kodbusato, for example.
It's our shop delivery area is around 4 kilometers radius, so you can get up to 4 kilometers on a bicycle. And one good thing is they're not rushing you. The general idea there is like, dude, you have to be safe. It's like don't run as fast as you can. Make sure you're safe on the road. So rather than like the impression I had when I was just interviewing for Gorillas was like, look, you have to be as fast as you can. It's like we have to do this delivery in 8 minutes, like no matter what. I was like, the Getir guys, they were like, look, we're trying to make the delivery really, really fast, but we also understand that, look, now we have like this 4 kilometer area, like, there's no way you're doing this in 8 minutes.
So where was the farthest place you've been to?
From here, I've been past Alexanderplatz.
Past, like further to the west?
Yeah, so like Alexanderplatz, just maybe a couple of blocks past Alexanderplatz.
Okay, I see. Interesting.
So, and I mean, I had some deliveries where I went from here about 1/3 way to my home because obviously the delivery was like essentially down the route, which I would
Yeah.
take if I were to go home on a bicycle.
Yeah, down Frankfurt Alley, basically.
I'm not sure about the names of the roads. I
Really?
live in different. I live in a different districts. So.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and now second topic. Let's move on from the first general one into pay. So, how much do you make per month? Like, you've been working for 2 months, you're saying?
Been working. They've been having issues because they've been changing the dates when they're paying.
Uh huh.
But overall, I mean, for me, it's about between 700 and 800 euros
After tax or
after tax.
Okay, and you got paid already twice or once?
Twice.
Twice.
Yeah, but I said they've been changing dates and things been like not quite clear. So, I mean, in the next couple of days, we should receive our wages and wage slips for the first time where we get paid for exactly 1 month.
Uh huh. So they were not paying for one.
Yeah, they basically they at first they were supposed to pay from like until like I started in middle of June, right? And then they were paying until 20th of June, and then they had to pay. But then they changed, like they said, "Look, we're gonna pay you from 21st till 20th again." But then they changed it and they paid from 21st until 15th to get. And now this month they're paying from like 16th to 15th of
Okay.
August. So
Okay.
now we
And like so, the pay period was until the 15th of August right now.
Yeah.
And when do you expect to actually get the money?
get next couple of days.
It's not clear. You don't have a specific date.
Well, they take a couple of days to calculate, but obviously depends on how the banks work. So they say they'll pay us out. So they cut-off date was the 15th. Then they take a week to calculate the payments to make sure
Yeah.
everything's in order. And then they pay us on Friday, let's say today, but depends on how the banks are working. I could get the money either today or tomorrow or maybe on Monday.
Okay, I see. I see.
Right, so they
So
pay
that's
in the end
not
of the
clear
week.
at all. Yeah. And would you say this money is enough to live in Berlin?
Depends which part of Berlin you're talking about.
Whatever. Is it enough for you to live? Like 700, 800 per month?
For me, yes.
Uh-huh. That's what's important.
But
And, yeah.
I live on my own, and the area I live in is I got myself a cheap flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we were talking like, but even then, like, let's put it this way: if I were to sign up and actually go for an unemployment benefits, right, I would get more money from being unemployed because I would get the money to pay for my flat, to pay all my bills,
Health insurance.
health insurance. Yeah, but the taxes come as part of health insurance. Health insurance comes as part of the taxes. So the 700-800 euros I get already health insurance paid,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? But I would get like everything paid, and then I would get. So my flat is generally around like 300 euros a month.
Uh-huh.
So all that would be paid, and then you would get like close to 500 euros spending money minimum.
Okay.
And then you get other benefits like free travel, free something, free this,
Yeah,
free
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And with all of that, you basically at the end of the month, you would be getting more money if you actually like applied for unemployment benefit than actually working.
Yeah. And so you get an hourly wage or you get paid per delivery?
Hourly wage.
Hourly
yes.
wage of 10.50.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is there anything else? Any other money that you're getting from Getu?
They have like a reward scheme if you hit the certain targets, but to be honest, they only brought it in this month, so I don't know how much that pays very well. Us guys, we generally kind of look at it. It's like, yeah, if we get something, we get something. As a part-timer, I can get up to like extra 250 euros if I hit all the targets, which I don't, because I'm
Yeah.
not really that worried about like this. I'm just kind of going there. Like I said, for me, this is more of a exercise with the
Yeah.
which pays me. So
And so, like, you would say the income fluctuates from month to month. Like, you've already
So I have a pretty
It's
steady.
an hourly wage. I mean, I understand
yeah,
that.
but I have a minimum 20 hours contract. So,
So do you always get scheduled for those 20 hours?
yeah, at least 20 hours. Yeah.
Do you get more than 20 hours?
Sometimes, yeah.
How much more?
If I want more, I can. Basically, they have a system which allows you to take things from like shifts from different departments, not different branches.
So you can go to different warehouses.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So if they send a list and saying, hey, we have available shifts in this warehouse and the other warehouse, do you want to take it?
Mm.
Generally, my answer is hell no. But sometimes it's like, I don't know. From my point of view, like if I get the right time days off and I go like, hell, I wouldn't mind going and seeing people from another warehouse and just meeting other people. I can do that, but it's not like a pressure thing.
Okay. And so in the last month, how many hours on average did you work per week?
On average, I would
Like
say about
20 or 22,
23, 24, yeah.
23, 24. Okay.
But some weeks I get like next week's, for example, as well, I will have 25 hours in that week. Sometimes your deliveries get overrun as well, so you get the delivery, which is like 3 minutes before the end of your shift.
Okay. So
So you go for a ride. By the time you come back, that kind of like
it's overtime basically. You
Yeah.
get paid for that?
yeah, you get paid,
Okay.
but obviously you get paid a normal rate. You don't get paid like extra, so it's just a normal rate.
There are no bonuses for working late at night. Is there? There's.
I almost never work late at night.
Okay. You
so
work morning shifts usually.
I work afternoon shifts, so just chilled out like
Okay.
between 1 and I would say between 1 and about 9.
Okay.
That's like when they usually put me on.
Yeah. And are there ever any situations where you're not really doing anything, like you're idle?
Oh yeah, we sometimes have times when there's like very quiet, no orders.
And you
And
still get
some-
paid for that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Good.
And sometimes you get the situation like we had, for example, today, where the bikes actually, there's a couple of bikes broke down. So we turned up and there was no bikes for us to ride, which was like, what are we doing here? We're just sitting in the kitchen.
And so, what did you do? Just chill.
Well, I wanted to help out in the shop, but they said, look, we have like our system, so please don't touch anything in the shop, just in case it falls apart. So I was like, okay, cool, and just chilled in the future, yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about some costs that may or may not occur. You may or may not incur actually. And just like, if you have anything to say about, just say like. For example, vehicle or equipment, like in terms of like bags, helmets.
No, that's all.
It's all provided.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
This is why I like them.
Yeah, and I heard you have a work phone, right? So you don't use your own phone.
No, I don't.
Okay. So they don't compensate you for using your data. Like they don't pay you extra for that because
No,
you're using your work phone.
I'm using their phone. I don't like if I go for deliveries, I don't even bring my phone with me. I just leave it in the bag in the back of the shop because, to be honest, it's not even for the data. I mean, you ride in a bicycle, you go off the bicycle wrong way, and you land on your phone. And I weigh a lot, so if I land on my phone wrong, it's gonna be the end of the phone.
Yeah, and what about trainings? Like, do you get any training or anything?
To be honest with this one, I mean, look, you just put things in the bag, you ride.
Oh, it's not that easy. Like, actually, like for example, we had the training from Decra. Well, it was bullshit. It was kind of online, but we learned a lot of things that are being done illegally. Like, there's some things like apparently we're supposed to, like, the company's supposed to provide us with shoes, with personal shoes, with personal like pants and stuff, with a summer jacket, a winter jacket, a lot of other things that we didn't actually know.
This company
Or pepper
provides
spray.
not with pepper spray.
Oh, I'm just
but,
asking about like, do you have this training? I'm not asking about
we
what the
didn't
company
have we
provides.
didn't have that kind of training because I mean the company provides all that. So
Shoes.
they not the shoes, but they provide you shoe covers for the rainy weather. So, but they provide you with your own with their trousers, with the entire uniform. So,
Okay. But you're gonna see how it happens. Like, what about like we'll see in the winter. I mean, if you continue working in the winter is usually the point when you realize, oh shit, this company is actually not providing anything.
no, no, there's a full set of uniform they provide, like
Yeah,
warm
yeah, I
jacket.
understand you, but like you're gonna see, if you work there in the winter, you're gonna see that's gonna be a disaster. Especially like last year in February with all the snow.
Yeah, that was actually quite happy. I was doing deliveries for Amazon and not writing for for gorillas back then.
Well, we shut down Gorillas for that week. That was the first strike.
Yeah, it wasn't just gorillas. You see other you could.
Yeah, Liefranda and Volt, they had like 1 day off or something.
Oh, it was hilarious because like
Yeah.
back then I was just doing my first rounds with the Amazon guys, and we were sitting in the van like it's like driving from spot to spot like to get the boxes, and you see the guys on the bicycles like trying to ride in the snow. It's like, what are you doing, people?
Yeah. And so do you get masks and stuff like Corona
Yeah,
things,
yeah, you get
like
you get
disinfectant, whatever?
the
I don't know.
masks, the disinfectant.
What kind of mask do you get? Surgical mask or FFP2? Like this list.
Yeah, like
Okay,
this,
perfect, yeah.
FFP2, yeah.
And what
This
about
one's from them.
okay? What about food? Like during your shift,
No, they don't provide the food.
nothing at all to eat in the warehouse. Like you have a kitchen and stuff.
Oh, we have a kitchen, but you have to bring your own.
So you don't get. What about like the food from the store? They don't give you anything.
Not that I know. Of.
So you don't get it. And after the shift, they don't give you like all the food to take home.
I've never stayed here till the end of the
No,
shift.
not until the end. Even like in the morning shift and stuff. That's one thing I guess that's probably good about Gorillas. You get a lot of food, but
Well, yeah, but that's usually the food that went out of.
or will be in 3 days. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
so-
yes, yes.
so
Yeah. It's
basically-
food that cannot be sold anymore.
So stuff like this we get, right?
But it's
so
not a lot. I'm assuming. Since,
the company's only been out for 2 months.
well, then
so-
it should be even more because it's not. It doesn't have, it has. It's fully stocked and there's not that many customers. So there should be more food that
Yeah,
runs
but
out.
but
yeah.
there's a lot of products there that which they will have, which only exist. So for example, there's a butter that's just gonna be running out in the next couple of weeks or so, like or something like this.
Okay, I see.
But obviously, a lot of products these companies hold, they are the products that are actually like long term, and like fruit and veg they usually don't buy that much of.
I see. I see.
Right, so they have like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, which is kept in the fridge as well. So you don't have that much going off yet because the company hasn't been there for long enough.
I see.
To have that food there.
Yeah. Okay. And what if you get a fine? What if the cops stop you and you get fined on the street? What happens? Who pays for it? You or the company?
I don't think we ever had any fines. I mean,
Like if you cross a red light somewhere and like I don't know, theoretically, do you think you would be paying it or the company?
I hope the company.
You hope. So no idea actually. I would say it's
I
a
don't
no
think
idea.
like it's like. I mean, I know, for example, when I was working for the Amazon guys, then there was like it was kind of half. So like part of it was them taking it, especially the parking fines for the vans. They were like,
Yeah, of course. I mean,
but quite often you'd get the parking fine, which is like they go like, we pay charge, part of it you pay. It's like, wait a minute, and it was on the shift time, it's like you pay it, but quite often it's like, but also there's like to be honest, you shouldn't really be like whether you ride or drive, like sorry guys, if you jump in the red light, sorry guys, you're asking for it, like. We have because we also have motorbike riders. In
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
company.
That's more serious.
Yeah, and there was a few times when I was saying, like they stop, so they leave their bike somewhere, and I go like, guys, look, just move them, like, because you're gonna get a fine for parking here. And number one, and number two, let's be honest, you've been an asshole, right? You just literally like, because you have seen where the office is, and it's right on the corner, and they would leave the bike kind of right on the where people cross the road.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, look, you just move it. And then the guys went like, yeah, you know what, fuck it, we'll move it because we kind of normal people. We don't want we don't want to be like.
Yeah. I
It's alright.
see. Yeah. And so, like, how much would you say comes out of your pocket um, per month paying the cost, like food, for example, at work, or like transportation?
I only work 4 hours a day.
No, but so like I mean, still like transportation to work,
I
or like
mean-
anything else that comes out, any like I don't know, gloves or whatever. I don't know, just like whatever comes to mind. Any costs associated with work that come out of your pocket.
Let's just move it because it's slowly kind of turning itself towards me. It's nice,
Yeah.
but to be honest, like outside having to pay for travel card for subway travel or local
Yeah,
travel
yeah.
card, I don't really have any expenses as such. Like
So
I
yeah.
eat the same stuff. Like I say, I only work 4 hours a week, so
Okay.
I cook at home. I don't really like spend like if I want to get a kebab.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, I want to get a kebab and I'd get it no matter whether I would go into this company or not.
So basically 67 euros per month or what for the transportation, and that's it.
86,
86,
per
okay.
month, yeah.
Okay. 86 euro transportation. And okay.
But then it's again like I live in quite far away from the city center, so I'd need that card anyway. So.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what can I say? This is the way the questions are, and I'm just going through them. Now, this might be
Look.
really funny for you. This next question.
All right, cool.
Do you think that this work has any detrimental effects on your health, physical or mental?
It for me, it's actually like been helping me out.
Yeah,
So, like,
positive.
but I do have to say, like, look, I went off the bikes a couple of times.
You felt.
Yeah, I went off the bike, and I'm actually quite lucky in a matter of I've been doing martial arts for a very long time.
Okay.
Probably the least favorite martial art in martial arts world, which is I did Aikido. But this is one of the martial arts which really teaches you how to fall. So when I went off the bike, it's like
Yeah, you felt
I'm,
this,
I caught, I had my front wheel caught in a rail track and it just flipped me over. So,
Okay.
but
that was not exciting.
I landed fine, right? So from this point of view, like I was lucky.
Okay.
On the other hand, just the other day, it wasn't the guy from our company, but one of the delivery guys went off the bike, not very nice, and in the place, basically, I haven't seen him going off, but from what I can understand from seeing where he was lying and things like this, he basically landed on the sidewalk, and dislocated his shoulder. So it's not really like this job is like one of those jobs that, to be honest, there is a reason why no Germans want to work these jobs. Okay,
Yeah.
right? So there's one thing. Like if you look at these jobs, there's almost no German people in here, and not for the money because, let's be honest, it's dangerous. Like unless you're very used to the road. And even when you're used to the road, just a little accident can. One of our guys went off the bike, not a big injury, but still had an injury. Was off for over a week because another cyclist essentially rode into him. They essentially pushed him off the road, not intentionally, by mistake, but nevertheless. Right. So for me, this job, like I said, I took it because I wanted to get out. So it actually helps me to keep my head clear, to do the exercise. But in the long run, I do understand that, look, this is not a minimum wage job. You were born in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Right. I was actually born in Soviet Union, right? And I know many people will say, you kind of rooting for socialism. But look, guys, I know a little bit about how things worked in Soviet Union, right? And if you did a job like this, which is actually dangerous, right? There was a legal system there which would say, look, this is kind of minimum wages people getting. But if somebody does a dangerous job, each job which is dangerous would have a certain amounts added to it. So like if you did a dangerous job, you would get paid more per month, per hour, per whatever, and it would be a clear like written that look, for these kind of jobs you have to be paid that much more for these kind of jobs. And these kind of dangerous jobs, they do need to be paid more. And to tell you, give you the reason is because many riders, many drivers like this, if they get injured, they basically end up having to rely on the government, on others to take care about them because they cannot really make any savings.
Yeah.
Right? They not getting paid enough to do that. And basically at the end of the time, getting these jobs paid more is actually good for everyone of us because the person like this, when they do get more money and they can save up and they can go to doctors, go to somewhere like this, where it's like otherwise they depended on us essentially.
Yeah.
Like so, essentially we get giving these companies, like which require people to do these dangerous jobs, but essentially we're paying not the riders, but the company bosses that are essentially getting higher profits of the job, which is we were gonna have to pick a tab up for, right? Because these companies, they're not gonna be picking up the tab for long. Essentially, we're the ones who are forced to pick up the tab while these companies are not paying as much.
Exactly. That's the biggest problem that we have, and it's related to that point. Regarding the safety measures that you have, for example, like helmets, whatever, the bicycles themselves, the maintenance of the bicycles, the mask, the corona masks, etc. Data protection, even, I don't know, like all of those things. Would you say it's sufficient or not?
I would say that look, recently, like we have the helmets to keep us safe, but obviously not. You're obviously not gonna really know, but I think you can make many riders wear full protective gear on a bicycle.
No, not that. I'm talking about the things that are provided. I mean, I'm not gonna wear also like a motorbike jacket on me when I'm riding a bicycle too.
You probably
like
should.
For example, like to give you a specific example, like the helmets, are they in good condition? Because I know that if someone falls with that helmet on, you should not be putting this helmet back on the shelf and using it again because something breaks in the helmet.
Yeah, this was one of the reasons they said, look, you know, one of the reasons the company started providing their own gear to start offers, because they said, look guys, you know what, you have your helmet, you deal with it whichever way you want, but then we have our helmets and we're gonna be like confident that.
Yeah, but are they maintained well? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, and the bicycles are maintained well?
We
like, do you ever get on a bicycle which you realize then after like 5 minutes riding, oh shit, it's kind of like the brake is not working or this is not working?
No, they generally maintain them reasonably well. There's a couple of cases that, look, you know what, this bike is not feeling right, but then we just say, look, put this bike away, don't touch it.
Yeah, of course,
broken,
but nobody will tell you that before you check it out yourself.
One of the things they say is like, look, you come in and you have to check your bike. If there's an issue, you have to say it about us.
Yeah.
Because again, like, you know, it's, in any office there's like 20 bikes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, and somebody was riding it beforehand, they were happy with it, and then they were like, you know, breaking or something went wrong, but they don't always report it. You can't always check everything. This is why, like, they go like, look, you have to check your bike before you start riding. You have to take on your responsibility, basically. Like, let's be honest. Like if I'm getting on the bike and I go like, well, this doesn't feel right, I come back and say, sorry guys, you know, this doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment we have the problem there.
But then again, not everyone has the same confidence. You know, some people are maybe scared of like reporting the bike broken. Like they're gonna. Things happen, you know, like different people react differently to this. You don't rely on this job that much. Like you don't care if you get fired or not, so you can just say, hey, I'm not doing this because of this. But other
most of people are there. Most of them are students who don't really give a shit whether they're fired or not either.
Exactly. I don't know.
But it's like most of the people, they just don't want to take on the responsibility of saying, look, something's not right, you know.
Okay, so people don't really do that a lot.
They do, but no. I think it's like if we're talking about people in general, like many people will say, I just don't want to take that responsibility of saying something's wrong on me. It's like, I'll just take it as
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And what about data protection?
They had like there was a couple of cases where we were like where they asked us to send in some info to like one of our managers' private emails, and we generally turned around and said no.
Well, what about I've heard something like you have like facial recognition in the warehouse.
Yeah,
That is totally illegal in Germany.
it's for I didn't know that.
I mean, even it could be okay in the end, but the thing is, like in your contracts, the way I understand, like I've seen actually a get your contract recently, and like it says, like for example, there's some clauses there about privacy, whatever, that they can do whatever they want with your information, but it's the truth is it's an opt-in thing. It's not an opt-out thing. So
Yeah.
you have to opt in separately.
No, it's just the facial recognition is there for like you log into the shift and you log out of the shift.
Yeah.
So you don't it doesn't happen for anything else.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, I have an ugly mug. I don't mind. You know? They're hardly gonna use my face for advertisements. You
No,
know?
no, not that. It's just, if this information eventually spills out somewhere, some third party can use it, or like, do they sell your information? That's also a good question. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you read the privacy thing, there could be a lot of different shit in there. You never know.
No, it's not. It's like for me, it's like the stuff they take, the information they take. It's like, I mean, let's be honest. Like when you go into all these companies, they still want a copy of your passport. They still want all
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
This is something I'd be more worried than a facial recognition.
But the question is not taking that information, but storing it insecurely, not in a secure
yeah,
manner, or like.
this is what I'm saying. Is there was one case where they said, look, this is like not like to send our information to one of the managers that we have, and we were like, well, wait a minute, she's not using your account, she's using the Google account. We're not gonna do it,
Okay.
right? And then we were like, thank you very, and they were like, okay, sorry, but then we got a contact from the HR directly with the correct email. I was like, okay, cool, there you go, So. But it's like I think it's not so much a company kind of policy. It's more like sometimes the managers and things like this, they're doing something and they go like, oh, we want to cut some corners. It's like, and you go like,
Okay.
well, guys, you shouldn't really be cutting these corners.
Okay, and are there any additional safety measures that you would like the company to provide you with?
For me, to be honest, like at the moment we're having a dispute about which bicycles to use. So, and we had we had two different bicycle suppliers, and there's some issues with one supplier and some issues with the other supplier. But I'm not gonna name the suppliers, but we're gonna say 1 and 2, right?
Okay.
And most of the riders actually prefer the supplier number 2 for a number of reasons. And one of the major reasons for me is, well, a couple of major reasons for most of us, is the fact that the riding position is better. So you don't get repetitive stress injuries, like things like this. And another thing is the other bikes have a very wide wheels.
Yeah.
So
Those are the ones that are preferred, the black ones you're saying,
Yeah,
and the white
yeah.
ones are the shit.
Yeah, and the white ones, so prefers like, we're gonna black and white ones, right?
Yeah.
Everybody prefers the black bikes.
Yeah.
Not everybody, a couple of people who prefer the white ones, but they're the ones who like ride a lot of bicycles, like similar type bicycles anyway. Most of other people will say, look, the riding position, the fact that they have a big trunk so you can put big boxes on back, and the fact that they say big wide wheels. This means they don't get stuck in the rail tracks, like the tram and U-Bahn. Like those who don't live in Berlin, there's two types of trams here. One is called an U-Bahn, the other one is called the tram. Right? I mean, the tracks are generally the same. I mean,
How do you get stuck in an U-Bahn with a bike? Do you?
U-Bahn track.
But it's underground.
No, some tracks go overground track as well. Not often, but they do.
I mean, only the trams do.
No, I've seen some U-Bahns as well, yeah.
Okay.
But not many. It's like U-Bahn is also.
Maybe in Stuttgart.
No,
Really?
in here as well. Yeah, if you go like a bit outside the city
In
center.
Marzahn, maybe.
Yeah,
No,
but,
anyways,
but,
anyways.
but
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
rail
got you, I
tracks,
got you.
the rail tracks are rail tracks anyway, right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like, and if you have to kind of cross this rail tracks, the bikes with the narrow wheels get stuck in the tracks. They pop in, and obviously, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I see. I see. And you get rest facilities at the warehouse, like you have a place to sit down, like a
Yeah.
restroom, a toilet.
Yeah.
Okay. And breaks?
Well, like I said, I don't really usually walk long enough. I usually do like 4 hours, 5 hours max. And then I just go like, yep, time to go home. But yeah, people get like, if you walk 5 hours, you can get like 15-minute break.
Unpaid or paid?
I think it's unpaid, but I think in Germany you do get them unpaid.
Gorillas, we get them paid. But that's an exception to the general rules because they kind of fucked up at the beginning.
Yeah.
And right now they can't change it because we're putting pressure.
Yeah, well, actually, there is a legal requirement, but in Europe. All right?
Well, in Germany, it's after within every 6 hours of work, you have to have 30-minute break.
Yeah,
And
but-
after I
yeah,
think
but-
at 9 hours, it becomes 45.
Yeah, but it doesn't say whether it's paid or unpaid. Right.
Yeah.
So many companies say, yeah, you have to have an unpaid
yeah,
break.
a
Yeah.
lot, yeah.
Whereas I know that there was an European legal system, right? It was paid originally, right? But then they said, look, you really have to follow the legal system of your country. So we would like it to be paid, right? But obviously, this is why for it used to be like 9 till 5 jobs. Now they've become 9 till 6, because it used to be that if you do 8 hours, you get within these 8 hours you had a 1 hour paid break. So it was like the break was part of the 8 hours. Now many companies and countries, you have to really dig into this and see. But many companies will say that yeah, you have to get this 1 hour break, but we're not paying you for it. So this is something that came out from this gig economy kind of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
The original subject we were talking about when we came to this interview was like the gig economy, and this is something that came out from the gig economy. These unpaid breaks.
Now, insurance. Your job, does it come with insurance?
I didn't double check.
I mean, do you know of any, like, of the company has an insurance provider? They have to have accident insurance after all.
I didn't look into
No,
that.
okay. And you have a personal health insurance.
Yeah, the usual Krankenkasse
Yeah.
in Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have a very good Krankenkasse. It pays for my dental as well.
Which one is it?
Technical Krankenkasse.
Yeah, it's what everyone has.
No, I know some
I have a nicer one. I have BKK Firmus, and it pays for. I think they don't have any English service or anything, so, but they also pay for dental too, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, because I was like looking out, was chatting to some people, and they say, "Oh no, ours don't pay for the dental," and
You have to ask.
I was literally like, I went to my dental, to my Krankenkasse, and said, "Are you paying?" They said, "Yes." I just had to been to a dentist and going there on Saturday. Ooh,
Nice.
scary. Yeah, but it's all free, like, so which is
Yeah.
good.
And I mean, the costs for the health insurance, it's half-half. I mean, it's half the costs are paid by the employer, half the costs are paid by you, right? 50-50. And okay. And have you ever taken sick leave
Yeah,
at Gittin?
yeah.
Perfect.
I don't know if I got paid for that yet, because it's been
Aha.
last month.
Okay, so we're assuming it's a paid sick leave.
Yeah.
And you said you've taken time. And how did the process go? Like,
Well, I think Getir.
was it after falling, flipping on the
No,
bike?
no, it was actually like it was a road one. I basically ended up reined in, and I ended up leaving the office, wearing nothing but a fucking t-shirt.
Okay.
Right, and then like once I got there, and on the way back it just came down, right? And I wasn't feeling too well overall, you know.
Okay,
Sometimes
yeah.
you get some, and I think in Getir in the contract it says that you can get up to 4 days without even a doctor's notice.
So you didn't go. So you didn't get a doctor's note.
I actually did go to the doctors and get a notice,
Uh-huh.
and the doctor was actually gonna keep me on for longer, but I was like, sorry, doc, you know, like can't really like you know.
But why not? Why not take a longer sick leave?
Look, I was like, it would, because of the way my shifts were, it would give me like one more day off of the normal working days, but staying at home doing nothing, just, you know.
Yeah, I see.
Like I say, it's not for me, this is not a major thing, like it's not a job, it's like something which I do to get out of the house more.
I see. And okay, cool. So you would, what did you do? Like you send the doctor's note to
To my manager, and it's,
just like a person. You sent it to a person, not to like some central email address or something.
no, I made a call, I sent it actually, sent it through WhatsApp to my manager.
Okay.
And he passed it on to our
Wow.
HR department. So I didn't even have to bring in the paper notice.
Amazing. Yeah, of course, you never do. So you usually like you scan it and you send it to an email address or wherever, upload it somewhere. Anyways,
Yeah,
doesn't
I made
matter.
a picture.
Yeah, cool. Have you ever felt like you were in danger while on the job, like that your life was threatened while working at Gittin?
Sorry, I'm 1 meter 80 plus, right, over like good meter shoulder width, and I have a
matter.
friendly smile. Let's be honest, not the guy people. No, I mean, to be honest, like for example, it's not so much a threat from being threatened by anything.
Yeah.
But as a couple of times, like for example, when we originally had the white bikes, the company that supplied them rated them as like essentially small motorbikes.
The white bikes.
Yeah, so
They
they
go
had,
really fast.
yeah, they used to go like up to 40.
They used to, but no longer.
Yeah, they basically we had a few days of that, and then I came in and I basically we had like our like in the branch at the time we had like people who were from the head office, and I come in and say, guys, you really need to fix that, or like sooner or later somebody's gonna kill themselves. That was right after I went off the bike.
Okay, so that's what happened. It was.
It wasn't because of the speed.
Yeah,
basically,
tram tracks. You said, right?
no. It was basically I was coming up to the lights
Uh huh.
and I slowed down, but I wanted to drop down the gears. So I dropped down the gears, right? But because I was holding the front brake, and I pedaled just so the chain goes down, and these bikes, the white bikes we have, they don't have a limit on how much power they give to the
Okay.
motor. So it gives the full power to the motor, right? So it's basically I'm lying on the ground,
And the bike is going.
the bike is flying across the whole fucking road.
Really?
Right, the car's braking, people hiding behind the fucking trees.
Is this serious right now? Like the bike, like
It just
run away.
went from like it went from under me, actually just kind of like flew off. It essentially flipped. It landed on the wheels up.
Crazy.
Right, everybody. I was like, I came down. I was like, I came, like came back. I said, look, guys, this thing is gonna kill someone. You know, it's like, and like.
And what? What was the reaction?
The reaction was they actually spoke to the company who provided the bikes, and within the next couple of days they essentially limited the bikes to the like.
Damn, if they didn't limit the bikes, I would just come to get you right now because I want to try this fast bike, you know?
No, you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
I mean, I complain because our bikes go only like 27 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's like the problem is not the
Feels
speed.
too slow.
It's not the speed which is the problem. Is if how much power it gives. So these bikes, the white bikes, one of their problems is they do give all power all the time.
Uh-huh.
So you'd like black ones.
So do you need a pedal or like no?
You you can't go almost without pedaling because it will continue pushing you like
Okay.
no matter what. Like, and again, this is a problem because sometimes you stop, and then you stop, and then you let go of the brakes, and it gives you the last push, and the bike just takes you just across, and it's not a threat, but it can be dangerous, especially if you're somewhere in the traffic or something like this. Could be the difference.
Or on a
between-
cobblestone street. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, and,
gotcha.
and
Does it have suspensions though?
the what ones no.
Yeah, that's one thing that we have. None of the bikes that we use have suspensions. It's a pain in the ass, especially on these streets over here.
Well, it's like
Yeah, exactly. The whole time.
No, the other ones they had suspension, but to be honest, like considering how much I weigh, for me it didn't work. So it was still like.
Yeah. Exciting.
But no, overall, like the other ones had suspension, but these ones they were just too fast. Like people think, oh, I want to go fast. It's like no, you don't. Like, not on the bicycle, not in the traffic. Sorry, like I know some people think they're like professional riders, and it's great, good for you, right? But you get into traffic and you jump off. Somebody jumps out. Guys, look, I drove cars in the obviously around Berlin. And it's like I have this kind of little joke kind of thing. Like, look, if you're riding a bike and undercutting the truck and then woke up in the field of wheat, do not worry because you're in Elysium.
Yeah.
Because laws of physics defy the laws of fucking man. Alright? Just know. I've seen far too many bikers doing stupid
Did you see
shit.
this bike? The Foot Panda bike? That's the one that we use also in Gorillas.
Yeah, I've seen you guys.
Yeah. It's like it starts by itself. You can go 7 kilometers without pedaling, 7 kilometers per hour without
Yeah.
pedaling, and you can start pedaling. And it's like one speed, and just like pedal like this, and you go 25, 30.
Yeah, no, those like
It's similar to the black ones that you have.
no, the black ones we have. You had five different gears.
Yeah,
for
but it looks
elec-
similar at least.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
similar style. Anyways, now if you need to contact Getir, like let's say you have some sort of emergency. Let's say you had this accident. Like I don't know, maybe you never felt the urge to contact the company.
No.
But if you did, like if you have like an emergency and you contact the company, what do you do?
You have an app on your phone, and the apps will have an option to contact the customer.
Okay, not the
support-
customer. I'm talking about
The support kind of service. So they,
Yeah, do
they
you have a support service?
Yeah, so it's either customer support that can get, or you as riders as well. We can call the support service and say.
And
hey,
how was the support service?
Generally quite nice. Sometimes useless, but most of the time.
Hmm. So can you just call them from a phone, or you have to do it through the app, or like it's like
I
a
can
chat
call
thing?
them from the phone. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a
Basically,
number.
the app will give you a number to call, kind of thing, and then it will go through a normal phone.
And they answer right away.
Couple of minutes, like it's like depends. Like you have to go through all the things, and then it beeps couple of times. So, but by the time you go through everything, it takes like a minute and a half. Like,
Okay. And what if something gets stolen while at work? What happens? Who carries the costs?
well, it depends what gets.
Well, maybe if it's a bike, then probably the company.
company.
But let's say your personal possessions get stolen, whatever they may be.
Why would you want to have personal possessions with you? Like,
You don't come. You don't. What if you have something else to do after work? What if you bring your computer?
oh,
you brought this
you
today,
mean,
for
you
example.
mean you mean from the from
Yeah,
the,
yeah, exactly,
from the
exactly.
bag? Oh yeah, the other thing should be company, but I
Like,
mean,
would you get reimbursed by the company? I mean,
Oh.
in the ideal world,
I
yes,
sure well
but
hope so. Yeah,
okay, no idea then.
but we have cameras in there as well.
You have cameras at the warehouse.
Yeah.
Inside the warehouse. Camera? Oh, that's weird. That's actually illegal.
No, we have cameras in the shop floor, and
That's totally illegal because you actually don't have customers coming in, and they're there only to survey the employees, and that is illegal in Germany.
are seen-
Without any special precedents, with like really high scale precedents, like someone coming in there with like a gun and trying to kill everyone. This in Germany is like if you actually look, there's barely any cameras in any places.
I think they already got this place with the camera. So
Maybe you should ask if the cameras are working or not. Because
Maybe,
I mean, we had a case of like cameras being installed in one warehouse, and then we made it public, and then they removed the cameras the next day.
To be honest, like again, like they what can they surveyors do? Like,
Talking to each other. Who talks? It's the thing actually. When you're unionizing or whatever, like they survey who's talking to whom, who's involved in something, who's making politics inside. That is one thing.
look, the manager is right there with us. They can hear us talking.
But you can speak a different language. That's, for example, what happens at Gorillas. I mean, we have a lot of different languages that we speak. So in the end, even if the manager's here, you know that they don't speak this specific language, so you can just talk next to them and they don't know anything, you know?
No, I'm saying personally, I was never too worried about that. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's a new company, but still. So now, you were given a contract when you started working, before you started working. Was it online or in paper?
online.
Only.
I think there should be some paper one somewhere, but I only go online one.
And would you be able to share a copy of the contract with us?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's no one's gonna know about. I mean, about it. Like
I have to look
only
it up.
2 people are gonna see it, maybe. And did you read it carefully?
It was pretty standard for everything else. This is why, like, some things I probably missed. I looked at the most
Okay.
important ones. But
And you understood it?
yeah,
And what language was it in?
that one was in English.
English and German, or only English?
I'm not sure, but
Usually
I
it's
remember.
like German on the left, English on the
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because it was electric one. And it's
Yeah,
like
still, yeah.
international one. So.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. And basically, you understood it because it was a language in which you were able to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And what if you had this case? What if you would like to know? What if, like, you're working right now and you would like to, you read your contract again and you see that something weird is in there. Like, for instance, I think I saw one of the contracts and it said the delivery radius is 900 meters. I felt like I saw this in the contract. But anyways, the delivery radius, that's 4 kilometers. I saw in the contract that's 900 meters. But anyways, if you have something that you want to clarify in the contract, is there someone you can reach out to?
Yeah, I mean, from manager to entire head office. So like, we have basically local chat group for WhatsApp for where we can all the riders ask questions. And
Only for the specific warehouse or for all of Berlin?
For our warehouse.
Okay.
But then we have people there from like, because if you have for entire Berlin, like there would be like a few hundred people asking stupid questions. There's like, it's easier to have them warehouse by warehouse. We can talk to our managers. We regularly get visits from like country head office. But then again, we're in Berlin, so it's probably one of the reasons why we get, like, because I know Getir is planning to open up in other cities as well.
In Germany, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're only in Berlin right now.
No, I don't think.
I mean, I can Google it too, but
Yeah.
yeah. And have there been any changes to your contract since you signed it?
No.
Okay, good. So we skip a bunch of things. And what happens? Let's say you are fired. Do you know of anyone who's been fired, by the way?
No.
Or who just quit?
No, there's been people who quit. yeah.
Okay. And do you know if like they get any specific compensation? Or
No,
let's say if they're fired, nobody got fired though. You don't know if anyone. No, okay. No.
I mean, at the moment they're having trouble to get people.
really? But maybe they should increase the wages.
Yeah, but it's like one of the things is like, it's like we were chatting to them and they go like, oh, it would be nice to have some German people, more German people come and work for us. I was like, just the same stuff I explained to you. For a German person to come and work, like, I have a cheap flat. This is why my unemployment benefit would be like just about the same as my 20 hours working here. If I lived in somewhere in like closer to the town center or like more expensive flat, let's say I wasn't paying 300 euros for my flat. Right, let's say I was paying 400 or 500 euros for my flat, right? If I went to unemployment benefit, I would actually, to cover this, to receive the same money as I would from unemployment benefit, I would need to be working here like 30 hours a week.
Yes. Yeah, it's
Right, and this thing is like, This is why these companies don't really get a lot of applications. And also, many people already work for Gorillas. They already work. So,
But
like,
I feel, but right now, what's happening with Gorilla is like a lot of people are quitting and going to the other ones because Gorilla is not the ideal.
well, the thing
Well,
is,
none of them are perfect, and they're usually what happens is that they get worse over time. Like I know at the beginning, Gorillas used to provide phones too, and then they stopped. Like it took them 2 months, and they stopped. And then they were like, if you break your phone, they were covering 75 euros. And then they started paying you instead of those. They removed that, and they instead started adding 2 or 3 euros to your monthly paycheck for phone insurance, so that you buy phone insurance for yourself. Nobody gets phone insurance.
no, I still have a phone which is like from my bought in 2000.
Oh, look at mine. Come on.
Yeah. No, mine is nice. Mine is nice. It's even as a case. But yeah, if I land on my phone, it's like, yeah, it's gonna survive it.
My phone survived a lot already, but yeah. Anyways, so have you ever felt like you were treated unfairly by customers?
By customers.
Yeah, or other workers, like not managers. We're talking about like actually customers. Here in this
To
case,
be
it's actually
honest-
specifically customers.
To be honest, like in this role, like when I'm working here, like I don't think so. I mean, you
Like, did
sometimes-
anyone spit on you? Did anyone say
again,
something?
again? Look, you know, let's be honest.
I'm trying to just like motivate you.
Let's like, you know, we talked a bit earlier about generalization, but here the general rule is like, you know,
If you're 2 meters tall, no one's gonna talk bad to you.
if you're 2 meters tall and 1 meter wide, right, and you have a smile of Shrek, right, where, you know, let's be honest, if I smile, Shrek runs. You know, if you have this, you're hardly gonna get people who gonna get in your face.
Yeah, I see. But do you know of anyone else who had like some major issue? Like, just like, have you heard of anything?
Not here so far. I mean,
Okay.
but again, it's like also depends like the area where we generally here deliver is reasonably chilled out, reasonably cool area.
But yeah. I mean,
You know, I
everything-
mean, look, when I worked for Amazon, like, yeah, there's been some people who were like, yeah, you have to be this. It's like, excuse me, sir. It's like, you know what, you're right. You know, I mean, one of the things which was funny about working in Amazon, because in here, obviously, you don't always get good tips. Apparently, Gorillas people get better tips than what we do.
Really?
Yeah, but it's in here like the way they set up tips in their app. Many people simply don't get to the point where they can give a tip.
Ah, okay.
So in Gorillas, people give a tip up front.
There's no way to give a tip after. Actually, they can only give a tip on the app electronically. They can only give a tip before.
Yeah.
But only, I think the biggest issue is with Gorilla is that we don't, like, the system malfunctions, or either it's like, we don't know if it's incompetence or because they want to do it that way, but people are missing their tips at the end.
It's not incompetence, is that if you keep track of your tips, right? Sometimes the companies go like, oh, they don't keep track of all the tips. But another thing, even if you keep track of your tips, but you say, hey guys, you know what, you underpaid me like, I don't know, 15 euros in tips, right? But now they have what, a couple of thousand riders? Right? A couple of thousand riders by 15.
Yeah.
You know, that's all of a sudden 30,000 euros, which they underpaid. And they keep them for 2 months.
I'd get you.
No, I'm giving you an example, right?
Because, okay.
They underpaid
No, I got you, yeah.
They underpaid each one of you 15 euros.
Yeah,
right?
no, but yeah.
So
the
they've
2
got
months,
they've got 30
question, yeah.
grand. They keep them for 2 months in somewhere where they will be making interest, and they go like, okay, cool, we've got that little bit on top of that, or they use this so they want to do something, right? Like open a new shop or something like this, right? And that costs them 30 grand. Right now, they all of a sudden they don't have to take that 30 grand out of their pocket.
Yeah.
They got this 30 grand,
Yeah.
they turn them over, And even if they paid them back to you 2 months later, they caught up to you. But all of a sudden, they had like extra 30 grand to play with, right? So
And okay, now back on the topic. You get a rating.
rating?
Yeah, there's
from-
someone like the customers rate you, or like in the app or something.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, and is it important?
Actually, it means that if you get good ratings, you placed into your like that scheme they have.
Ah, okay, bonus scheme.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have high ratings, you get higher bonuses.
Okay, so yeah, and have you ever been treated unfairly by management?
So far, no.
Okay, I mean, does it have to do with your 2 meters and your strike?
It's also the fact that we're like at the moment it's like you said it's just starting.
Yeah.
So and we all started to almost like together. Everybody's chilled
okay,
out.
okay.
Like are there like sometimes like situations where this you go like, why didn't you just call me and ask? Like, or why did you do this? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but we need it's like, why didn't you call me and ask? Like I would have said yes, but quite often we had like it's more with technical issues we sometimes had like because of they had like an automatic system which was supposed to put us on the shifts, and then
But
it
it
will,
malfunctions a lot.
yeah, and then the managers started doing the shift, the rotas. And then sometimes the system would change things, everything. So you'd be like, you're going to bed on Sunday evening, just seeing one thing. Then you wake up Monday morning and it says like, oh, wait a minute, you were supposed to be on the shift from 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's like literally just kind of things
But
that are,
nowadays you get shifts scheduled way in advance, right?
yeah,
Like 2 weeks in advance, 1 week in advance.
at least like,
It has to be by law. It has to be at least 4 days.
yeah, at least like, well, we usually Tuesday, Wednesday, they'd already have shifts for the next week.
Okay,
yeah.
perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, unfair treatment. Do you have a specific way, like a path that you can appeal? Like, if someone gives you a warning for no reason, let's say you get like a warning,
No,
and you
can,
actually
you can obviously go to HR. like, but-
HR. So you have
Yeah.
like contact information. You have a way to reach them.
Yeah, I mean they have the email.
Okay.
HR kit. But to be honest, I said at the moment,
Yeah, I understand. A lot of things are still new, but I mean, if you can answer. If you can't answer, then we can skip, and
yeah,
we're almost done actually. Have you been informed of actions? So, like, do you know which actions will lead to disciplinary action? Like,
yeah,
like.
like punching the customer in the face.
Okay, but do you have that anywhere written? Like, is it clear? Like,
It was done through training. I think there's also
delivering
some-
an order in 2 hours instead of 20 minutes or something like that.
That is actually not.
I don't know.
really,
I'm just. Yeah.
One of the things which could cause is like, for example, but if you do some things like which are not really legal in Germany. For example,
Killing someone.
no, it's like if you deliver alcohol.
Yeah.
right, you're not supposed to like, and you deliver a car, and the address they gave you is a park. Like you come there, and even if they show you their ID, you're not supposed to leave alcohol with them.
Really?
Yeah.
What? We didn't. I don't know about this. I deliver to. Okay, we deliver to parks, and by the way, Gorillas, we never. I don't think anyone has ever asked the customer for an ID. Like, this is.
Come on. Quite often you can see that the person is like,
I cannot tell any longer if a person's 18 or 25. You know.
yeah, but alcohol is legal from 18. So
16. Beer and wine from 16. Everything else from
beer
18.
and wine from 14 actually.
Here in Germany it's 14. No, it's 16. 16. 16.
14.
16.
Trust me, like
Oh, it's not- it's not
you should
14.
check the laws. You can have beer from like 14.
You can
years.
have, but you buy to buy.
Yeah, buy.
16.
You can buy from. You can go in a bar and buy beer from the age of 14.
I thought it was 16, but anyways, it's whatever.
Trust me.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up
there's-
after. I'm really confused, but it's okay. Yeah. So you got this information during the training, like what things? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so you.
Training.
But I think it's they also trying to play it safe because they say, look, you never know like what is happening in there, like so they said, look, just to be on the safe side, just no, we don't do this. Or like, but other than that, like,
Okay. And like the communication with the management is always good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it's also for me, it's my personal thing. Is I've been there from day one as soon as they opened. Like I literally came in for the interview and then went straight for the job.
Yeah.
And overall, I admit I'm an antisocial guy overall. But because I know I'm antisocial, because I know I'm like struggling with people, I make myself to be out there. I make myself go like talk to people, say hello, like I come into the shop and I say hello to every person in the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
I might not remember their names, but I will say hello and ask, yeah, you're all right, like. I'm leaving the shop. I'm saying goodbye to every person in the
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I know that some people might not be too fond of me, but I'll still say hello, I'll still say goodbye. Same treat with I would always chat to the management and always be like, yeah, if there's an issue, I'll make sure I go and discuss it because, again, you work with computers. I mean, things like this, communication is a key. And one of the issues I had, or one of the reasons I went to jobs like this, is because I was stuck at home. I was then finding myself in a situation where I was struggling to communicate with people.
Yeah.
So essentially doing this and working with people, one of the reasons I go along with the management in the other company, the company who was doing deliveries for Amazon, is because I'd make myself go and say hello to the manager, say how you doing, it's like if there's a topic to discuss, we'll chat.
Yeah. I see. I see. Okay. Now, next, and this is where we talk about other things. I'm also getting tired now. Yeah.
I'm alright.
Yeah. Well, you are, but I'm just like.
What, did you work today?
No, not today. I worked yesterday and I'm working tomorrow. But and
See,
tomorrow it's 8 to 4.
I worked yesterday,
Uh huh.
then I went to a couple of hours in the gym yesterday, and I worked today.
Yeah. Well, I'm
See.
getting ready to go on vacation too. But anyways, let's say you have an issue at work, and then you talk to HR, you talk to the management, and nobody solves it. What would you do?
I
Like,
talked to them again.
yeah, but what if like they don't really give a damn? I mean, you probably say I'm gonna quit and go find another job in this direction, but
Yes.
in your situation, I mean, you're qualified to do whatever, But like, let's say like, would you be interested in like a workers' council or like a union or a lawyer's help or whatever?
To be honest, like I said, I've been too much of I spent my entire career as a contractor. So
Always
freelance,
freelancing.
freelance and contractor. So it's very hard for me to kind of look at it from a point of view of permanent role.
Yeah, of course, of
So,
course.
I mean, I understand, the benefit of a union when everybody gets together and says, hey guys, we really need that. But it's also like, at this point of time, like, these guys, they are actually trying to solve the issues. I mean, sometimes you do want to hit them with a stick on the head, but they are trying to solve the issues. There was some issues and you go like, hey guys, like, this needs, and they would try and solve it. Like, but also the fact that I think this company has been in business for a while.
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah,
2014.
so they've been in business in another country, but they've still been in business, and they, I think, have a bit more of an understanding that what if they don't solve the issues, they probably went through everything that gorillas goes through right
Trust
now.
me though, I can tell you one thing. The way they operate here is nothing similar to the way they operate in Turkey. Different standards,
Different
Like,
standards.
I've seen it because I lived in Istanbul for 3 years. 2 years, so I mean, they're kind of like crammed in like basements, the warehouses. Like you cannot see them on the street. Like somewhere down, and people are coming out smoking. So many motorcycle crashes all the time.
Yeah, but
Stuff like
again,
that. Yeah,
like,
anyways, I'm just
look,
like the things that I see.
look,
And here it's like all like shiny,
again, like
decorated.
the motorcycle crashes doesn't depend on the way company operates. It depends on the people that are riding.
Also on the
motorbikes.
stress, a lot of the time, like pressure to deliver quickly, also stress for like working 11 hours a day and stuff like that. I mean, different labor like regulations, right?
Yeah, but then again, it's like quite often it's like you can say, hey guys, you know what?
Yeah, no.
You know, I'm gonna be riding as fast as I can within the speed limit. You know.
Yeah, but it's also like a different. It caters like the workers comprise. Like here, for example, it's people who are like who don't like the way you're saying it's people who don't really like if they get fired, they don't give a damn. You know, they're gonna go find another job.
Most
But in a
of them
country
will.
where unemployment rate's 30%, it's a little bit different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Anyways, let's skip to the next topic. So you have a channel to talk to other people. You have this like WhatsApp group or whatever. Do you have some sort of like? Do people meet outside of work too, or no?
Not often, but like again, like look, you know, you get this like kind of people. Sometimes some people go out together, but like my taste in going out is gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
very
of course.
different from many others.
Yeah,
And
but just like a
also-
sense of like community in the warehouse. Do you
I
have
think
that or not?
everybody's friendly inside, but some people, as far as I know, they kind of hang out outside as well sometimes.
Mhm.
But again, many of us, they kind of, even though we have, for example, lots of guys from India,
Yeah.
you know, some of them they live together and they generally hang out
Yeah, yeah,
together.
yeah.
But some of them will be like on their own somewhere else,
Yeah,
do
yeah,
their
yeah,
own
yeah.
thing. So
And is this like this WhatsApp group or whatever? Do you have any other channels? Do you have like any other chats or anything except for this group?
I never looked.
Okay. Well, let's say there's only this group. Like, is it a good place to complain about things?
Yeah, people complain.
That's all it is.
Like this is like one of the things is like people say like look, one of the places because we don't have just the riders in like we have people from tech support there.
Tech support.
Yeah,
What is tech support?
like for app support for
In the warehouse.
not in the warehouse.
Ah,
in
you
the
mean in
chat
the app?
group. Yeah.
Okay, in the chat group. I thought in like it's like a permanent position in the warehouse tech
No,
support.
no, no,
Okay.
no. In the chat group.
yeah, okay.
So we have people from like central tech support. So
From higher management also or no?
somebody from higher management.
What about from like warehouse management? Do you also have people there?
all of them are there?
Ah, so it's not a group just by the worker. It's a management group. Like for you to, yeah, but it's like moderated by management.
No, it's not moderated.
It's not moderated, but like
It's just like you know, like it's a group where we can raise our issues, but it's
Okay.
also the group like, for example, you do a delivery somewhere and you can't find the customer, right? And you
call
chat-
customer
you-
support, no?
You can do that, or you can write in the chat group and say, "Hey guys, you know,
Yeah, I see.
I can't
yeah,
find
yeah.
the address," and then and then instead of sitting on the phone waiting till they go like, "All right," they get a reply on there to your request.
And is this group effective? Like, are the complaints dealt with appropriately and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
say this is why like people. I mean, not everything at the same time. You know, not in the next 5 minutes. But
Yeah, yeah.
obviously
Like, did you
people
have
raise-
any complaint that was then solved specifically?
What?
Like when you
Say,
wrote in a group? Or...
I didn't write too many.
No,
complaints,
okay.
'cause- But many people would write something, and then things get sorted.
Like for example.
You have to like. I remember guys writing they had some issues and say, "Yeah, I'm having this problem."
Like problems with bikes or problems with
Yeah, whatever. like-
schedules or
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, there's a couple of times where we had issues with schedules, like I said, because of the automated machine,
Uh-huh.
and I very politely expressed my displeasure. Like,
Nice.
whose brilliant idea was it to put me at 8 o'clock in the morning? You know? But
And I'm from our conversation, I understand that you are not part of some sort of group of riders or pickers or whatever who are like organizing to destroy the management and autonomize the workplace, whatever. I'm just like, yeah, saying, but like that's actually a serious question here. Like, why are you not part of an initiative to create a council or like some sort of like workers' representation in the company? I mean, you kind of explained it already. But...
yeah, number one, I'm a part-timer,
So?
I don't. Number two is to say, I'm not treating it as much as a
Okay.
job. Number three is like without even a group, because we all generally kind of have that immediate access to the manager sitting right there on the front desk for most of the day.
Yeah, but like things like, for example, increasing the wage. Like these things are possible in the end if everyone, like if you have some formal organization, you know. Like, let's say you don't.
The issue you get compared to like gorillas, for example, right, is you get lots of people in that walking there that actually live here.
What do you mean?
They many people that walk in gorillas because they have such a large, so they live here. They depend on this very kind of right. If you take Getir at the moment, it's mostly students.
Okay.
So these are people who are like they're here, but they're already looking for other jobs. Like it's
But for us, it's also a lot of people who are looking for other jobs. There's lots of people who are in IT, who are engineers, who are lawyers, who are doctors, who are working as writers.
yeah,
Everything,
but,
you
but
know.
but you are people who are actually living here, right?
A lot of
the-
people also came like 6 months ago, 7
No,
months
no.
ago.
A lot of people, they're literally university students
Okay.
from other countries.
Yeah. We also have those.
Yeah, and if you look at those, they're like, okay, cool. I got this job. I got this wage. I'm getting paid. You know, I do my hours, and it's it. Like, you get a few people who are living here, but majority they are like
Yeah.
they. Surprisingly, what happened with Getir is it's got lots of Indian people,
Yeah.
for example.
Same with every other club. Like Gorillas also.
Yeah, and they are mostly students. They don't live here. Like they do this job for like. I mean, the holiday is gonna end, and the Getir is probably gonna get really fucking empty, really fucking fast. You
I
know,
see.
it's like, but nevertheless, it's like mostly kind of a lot of students here. You get very few people that are actually like live here rather than this is one of the issues of these as we were talking like that culture of I don't remember the word now but
Summer jobs.
it's like there's lots of people that come here and then the companies do abuse that situation. It's like and then they go like, oh, why does nobody want to work for us anymore? Like, well, after all the students fucked off, or like, why can't we find like people to work for us that have licenses to ride the motorbikes? Or,
Yeah, not a lot of people have driver's licenses. I mean, it's fucking expensive. You know?
Yeah, it's expensive. And number two is like, you're gonna ride those bikes.
But are you paid more for a motorcycle?
I'm not sure. I think
Definitely.
I think you get paid about the same, but you get better tips.
Really? Because you carry more.
No, it's because the bike riders they seem to be delivering to because can go further out, so they end up delivering to the areas which are not as covered by delivery services. And they also seem to be delivering to like because this area it's nice, but there's lots of idiots in here who spend their last money just for the sake of living in the city center.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and you deliver to them, it's like, and you look at them, it's like, dude, you look worse off than I am. It's like, but they've just paid like half of their wage just for the sake of living in the city.
Another half to
center.
order from Getir, no?
Yeah, yeah, but they paid so much money.
Yeah.
Whereas, like the guy, the motorbike riders, they can go to the areas which are a bit outside. So they would go up to like 10 kilometers, like 10 so they ride for 10-15 minutes on a much faster bike, and that would put them in the areas where there's lots of people who actually kind of again
I see.
in a bit better off situation.
Yeah, okay, do you think it's important for the company to listen to workers' complaints?
Yeah.
And how would you see, what do you see as the further steps that can be taken to ensure that your voices are heard on the management level?
No, I think this company is generally kind of listened.
Okay.
So at least for now, like let's call it for now, they are listening. They try new things, but like sooner or later they kind of end up. But again, I think they kind of seen what's happening with gorillas. They had seen what's happening with others. They probably had a few issues of their own. Like you say, in Turkey, it's very different conditions, but nevertheless. They already went through a couple of situations where the people went like, you know what, guys, you're taking a piss, and they've been there like, and I think right now they are trying to listen because they are like, although they understand the price they get to pay. They just invested like probably a few millions into opening new markets
Yeah.
all over Europe, and they understand that they don't want to lose that. Like they're not like gorillas, which seems to have. Oh look, we started. Oh look, somebody gave us a few million. You know, let's do whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Final page. We're almost done.
Right, cool.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. How would you rate Git?
Getir, I would say around 4.
Why not 5?
5, it's like I say, it's the issues of like the.
Okay, yeah. Scheduling bikes, whatever, yeah.
No, not schedule, but the kind of they still not fully set up.
Okay.
Obviously.
Amateurs.
No, it's not so much as amateurs. It's just whenever you start a new thing, you always have things going pear-shaped. Issues with bicycles, obviously, yes. I mean, after you have like so many people tell you that these bikes are shit, you probably should listen and say that these bikes are shit.
Yeah.
But I also understand why they're trying to why they say, look, you know, let's do white bikes because their batteries last longer. Because you know, no bikes are perfect. You know, so. But it's little things, and like many of those companies, I wouldn't give them a 5 anyway. Literally, because at the moment, like I said, jobs like riding, they should really be paying more. You know, it's like, I mean, not from my point of view, because except for me, it's not so much the money, but even then, you have to say, like, look, guys, you know what? You're putting people on the road, and any of these people might end up going off the bike at any given point of time, right? You know, it's like, I understand it's a gig thing. I understand that you're kind of looking at students and shit like this. But let's be honest, right? You know, we know why this kind of labor became so cheap over the years. But nevertheless, it's still a labor. It's still work.
Yeah.
You know, and it should be paid properly. But all of this company are paying shit, so you know.
Okay.
Gotcha. Is not perfect.
Okay, so we talked about the contract. You can share the contract. I guess I'll write to you again later for that. We're done actually. Just like some really formal things, like would you be interested in being contacted again for the purposes of a paid follow-up interview or a paid photo project? Contacted again. You don't have to say.
I'm sure we're probably gonna have a few more drinks along the way.
Yeah.
You know.
And okay, so basically the last thing, I'll read it to you, but it just says everything we can read together. At Fair Work, we want to make working conditions better. Blah blah blah. To that end, we provide a number of resources, including podcasts, to help make workers' voices heard. Would you or your friends be interested in listening to these podcasts?
Where are those podcasts?
I'm assuming it's on the website. I cannot.
Yeah,
tell you
the
for
thing
sure.
is like
I'm just reading this right now.
half the time they put in this podcast somewhere. Like, yeah, sure, if it's interesting podcast and it has the good info and it, you know, talks some sense, then yeah, everybody's listening. But quite often they have the podcast somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah, you have to go on our website, then you have to go there, and then you have to click on this button. It's like, well, guys, you know,
I have no good
do
information about
you have your
where it's-
podcast registered with? I don't know.
It's probably on. It's
Spotify?
probably on Spotify.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know, maybe. And can you think of other ways to make the resources, like podcasts, etc., to be more accessible to workers?
Make them interesting, make them noticeable. You know, I mean,
Make a
let's
movie.
let's be honest. Like the most influential podcaster these days is Joe Rogan.
I have no idea. I actually never listened to a podcast in my life.
Yeah, it's like he's on YouTube. He's all over the place.
Okay.
He's like one of the, and what he did is he just invite people to talk to him, like
Yeah.
unscripted. It's like this. Like quite often you listen to people and you go like, you know what, you don't make sense, or you're talking shit, or you don't know what you're talking about, and you know people try to be smart about stuff. And you're like, guys, you know, like you say it's for the science and stuff like this, but you know you listen to them, and quite often you listen to the stuff they say, and it's like,
Yeah, it's bullshit.
guys, you haven't got a clue what the fuck you're talking about. What, you know, it's like, I mean, talking about the gig economy as we started. It's like, I mean, come on, it's like, you listen to those scientists, and it's like half of them don't understand why these minimum wages are not working out. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
It's like,
Gotcha.
how do we fix the problem of people not getting enough money? Oh, let's make another let's increase the minimum wage. Okay, great. You increase the minimum wage, and what's next?
This is something that you get to keep.
No, I'm not asking this. I'm saying if they increase the minimum wage, what's next? What happens after you increase the minimum wage? I mean, you're studying, you're doing masters,
Yeah.
so tell us, what happens after you increase the minimum wage?
What do you mean? What happens? I mean,
Overall, what happens, right? What if these companies increase the minimum wage? What would happen next?
the other companies will have to increase the wage.
Okay, what happens next?
What happens next?
Next, what happens is all the
You're not gonna tell me. You're not gonna tell me it's all gonna shut down because.
No.
I was expecting something like that. No, everybody's gonna have to shut down
what-
because they cannot afford to hire anyone.
No, that's
bullshit.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not entirely bullshit, but there's a sense to that.
Sure.
It's like the housing goes up because the landlords go like, oh look, people get more money.
Well, that's why there's regulations. You know.
Yeah, but let's be honest, people like if the regulations are not properly enforced and they're not clear, then people find ways around it. This is why right now the flats in Berlin are starting to grow in price so rapidly, right?
Yeah.
So the rents go up,
But
right?
there's still regulations, just they're not enforced.
And then as the rents go up for normal public, the rents go up for businesses. Right, and then you raise a wage and 3 months down the line, it's still not enough again. So like, and then people say, oh yeah, we have to increase the minimum wage again. And then the cycle repeats itself again and again and again.
Yeah.
And quite often we get to the point where a small business, let's say this restaurant, now their rent has gone up.
Yeah.
Right, to the point where they can't afford the rent and the wages anymore.
Yeah.
They do go out of business. So until you kind of start resolve the basic issues, which is, like, oh, wait a minute, rent controls, proper rent controls, making sure certain, like, there's other things you can do, like, but you have to sit down and have a grown-up conversation about this. And the problem is that, like, all this research you're doing here, all these questions you ask, making the job place fair, it's like, yeah, it's fine.
The truth is, I'm doing this,
Yeah.
but I just decided to do it. It's a friend whose project this is, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll help out with this. 450 euros for me, mini job. That's it, Like, I'm not doing this because I believe in this project specifically. I mean, maybe we should stop that already.
No, that's the
Yeah,
point.
okay,
That's the
okay,
point,
okay.
right? It's like,
I mean, not because I believe in this project specifically, because I think it's just some other academic bullshit, Like,
yeah, so this
yeah,
thing
it's
is
the same
just
thing.
like,
It's just like, yeah, I'm just getting my little 450 sometime, like after doing 8 interviews. Like, it was fun at first, but after 2 interviews, I'm like, okay,
it's probably not as
it's not
fun.
as fun as I expected it to be.
Yeah, but it's like, again, like, this is why I thought, like, let's do a video and then we can chat about it, and then it's gonna go on video, and then,
Yeah.
right, people can watch and not watch it, it's up to them, but then I can put it up and just say, look guys, we've done that, see if you enjoyed it, let's have a laugh, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And-
By the way, last important step. Could you fill out your information? It's like a receipt. It's like an invoice, actually, for the для проекта,
For the project.
для 15 евро.
Okay.
Так,
Couldn't they write it in fucking English?
German, it's a university, come on, it's in German. Имя, фамилия,
We're in Berlin, alright? Nobody here speaks fucking German.
that's what you think.
Not even the Germans speak German in here. No, I'm lying. But most of the people here will speak generally English, yes.
Go to Marzahn and ask if they speak English. Имя, фамилия, адрес, да, понятно.
Yeah, in Marzahn, many people, they all either speak Russian or English.
Wait.
My hands are freezing.
Really?
Yeah, my fingers are like cold. It's not overly warm today, so yeah.
Alo kanka, beni duyuyor musun? Ne haber? Neredesin? Ya hadi Türkçe konuş birazcık. Hangi hastane? Ben gelebilirim. Tamam. Orada mısın? Tamam, ben şimdi bu senin iş arkadaşı vardı, onunla interview yaptım. Şimdi bitiriyorum, geliyorum ben. İşim yok çok fazla. Biliyorum. Tamam, hadi. Bye bye.
That was which language?
Turkish.
Turkish? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because you lived in Turkey.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So, our Bewar, like
Yeah.
you know, he just got into a really bad. He got into an accident. He's going to the hospital. He was at work. I'm gonna go to him actually.
Yeah, we were telling to our managers that look, guys, this.
He just got into an accident on the ship, by the way.
Yeah.
At Getir, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, did he say what happened? Or?
I didn't ask, but he called me a few times, and I just realized that he called me, so I called him back, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the hospital. I'm not
Yeah.
far. I'm gonna go for a visit."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is these jobs like what we were discussing? Look, you know, you get like these jobs are way more dangerous. Like you know, it's like they should be paid more because if he goes now off and he gets a sick leave, right, for a while.
The thing is, he cannot even get a real sick leave yet because he hasn't worked for 1 month. He can get a sick. Like the thing is, you know what happens if you for the first 28 days of employment, when you go on sick leave,
Yeah.
it's not the company that pays; it's the Krankenkasse. And the Krankenkasse only pays 70% of your. It doesn't pay you the full.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that if he doesn't get it and he gets to go on the sick leave, then the government needs to sort of pick up the tab. So what I'm saying is it's like
the company should be picking it up.
the company should be picking up, but it's also like you know, it's like the companies they pick up the sick leave also to a certain extent, right? They don't pick it up for good.
For the first 6 weeks, they're responsible only for the first 6
Yeah,
weeks.
so it's like, you know, he goes off for the next couple of months because he's twisted his ankle badly or something like this. Let's hope he didn't break anything. I mean, if he kept on calling you, he's obviously not in the...
No, he sounded okay.
Yeah, so... Right, but he has to be off for like 2-3 months. And all of a sudden he goes on us, you know, while he doesn't have the money to survive on. You know, he gets to be, or he loses a job because he broke his leg or whatever, and he gets to be on unemployment for God knows how much, and we're the ones paying for it while he doesn't have enough savings to live on. What's this one's?
Let me
So,
write this down.
yeah. I don't like the weather today. See, this is why. And now we recorded this, and now people go like, yeah, you know, it's like these guys, they were not actually talking crap, you know.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, you go like, shit, it's like this happened now to somebody that you know,
Yeah.
we both know.
Yeah, time today, it's, whatever, we started like at 4. Yeah, just the date, city date signature.
Okay.
Berlin 20th, 08.
Yeah, it's what sure always makes me laugh around here in Germany, which is like they make you to write the city where you signed it. It's like,
Yeah.
Date 20th. It's been a while since I've seen pen like this.
Yeah, this is the only pen I can use. I cannot use any other pen.
Why not?
I don't know, I'm used to this. I've been using the same pen for 4 years, and if I lose it,
Alright.
my life ends. Okay, perfect. That's done.
What's the time now?
It's 7.
7. Yeah, we've been
Been
for a
for a
while.
long time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But we could get together and sometime make more videos.
Of course, of course.
Would
I
be
mean,
good laugh.
of course.
But then we can talk more freely, like about other
Yeah,
subjects. But this is the thing is like, you know, like you do something like this. This is why I wanted to record it. It's like you do something like this and then, whoa, I've got a record of this. And it's like, rather than we talked about this and then it's like,
Yeah.
and then people, you have to tell something. It's like, well, now I had these professionally written questions to me,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, I tried to answer them as much as I could. But obviously, from the point of view, like, hey guys, you know, I'm not really doing this for like survival job.
No, no, of course not.
But nevertheless, it's the experiences that count, which is like what often people don't know about that. People don't like they look at this the riders like, oh, these guys probably doing like getting tons of tips and like, you know, living the life is like,
No, not at all.
yeah, your experience. Oops. Stable doesn't want to turn to you. Okay.
Yeah.
So in your experience, do riders live a life and get lots of tips?
At Gorillas, we average about €1 per hour in tips.
How much per delivery?
Between 0 and 5.
No, like how like so in Getir I actually get. I've calculated it's about like 50 cents.
Oh, per delivery, it's about something similar.
Yeah,
But we think of it this way: like on an 8-hour shift, I do about 12
€12.
12 deliveries.
12 deliveries, so yeah, about €6.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like a doner per shift, you know, like, or like a pack of tobacco.
Pack of tobacco. I
And
don't
it's
smoke.
€5.
I don't smoke, so I don't know how much those things cost.
No. But I saw a funny, actually the other day I saw a video about this guy, some guy in Vol, who works in Volt in Finland. He's Russian, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you've seen this. It's like, makes €8,000 a month. Well, Finland, the wages are really high, of course. And this guy, he works 15 hours a day.
15 hours a day.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
He lives in the center of the city, so he like between like deliveries he goes to sleep for like 20 minutes or something to his house, and he rides not a bike, he rides like this like gyroscope kind of thing, like where you have this wheel in the middle and you stand like this,
Oh right, yeah.
and he uses it because apparently, according to the rules, the laws of the street, you're allowed to drive on the sidewalk and on the street with that because you're like a pedestrian. So like, and that thing costs like 3,000 or 4,000 euros. So this actually doesn't make like, yeah, maybe he's living a life of luxury, making a lot of money. But the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
15 hours.
15 hours a day.
I mean, if he was working 15 hours
Probably
a
6
week,
days
then
a week,
yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah, it's like this. The thing is people like this is I quite often hear people like people like this. They walk like, and they'll be telling this guy, "Yeah, I'm doing this," and it's quite funny because these people they go back to like Russia or Ukraine or something like this, and they tell this, and then you come back to you go back to Eastern Europe, and you speak to people, and they start telling you these wonderful stories about how shit is in Europe, and you go like. I live in Europe. I have not seen that. You know, it's how they tell you like, you know, like this winter we had like tons of snow in Berlin, right? And you know, it took them how long to clean it? Like more than a week.
Yeah. But the same in Canada also, like they don't clean the snow right away, and there's always snow. They clean it after it stops falling.
Yeah, but
it can take 2 or 3 days before they even start. You know?
Yeah, no, I understand, but if you I mean, about Canada, people tell stories like so. I think about Canada, people agree that they don't clean snow there straight away. But if you talk to many people from like Eastern Europe, or they say, even in Britain, they would go like, oh look, you know, in Germany, as soon as the snow goes, they just cleaned it out. It's like no, and then they went, but then they would go like. You know, in the airports, like they're on the airfields. It's like, well, probably I don't know.
To, you know?
Yeah,
like,
they have to, but it's like But they would go like, yeah, the snow gets cleaned in Germany all the time. It's like, guys, I kind of live in Germany, right?
Yeah.
The snow went here and it stayed for over a week.
Yeah.
And then there would be somebody, oh yeah, but if they clean the snow, they clean the snow everywhere. It's like, not really, because I live in the city center. They clean most of the snow. I live in Marzahn. There's been plenty of areas there which,
It's like, yeah,
yeah,
untouched by by society.
yeah. It's like, you know, you go onto this road and then you have like a little path cleared out because the big building company owners, they have to clear. So they would clear like a little path which is like 1 meter wide, so just
Yeah.
one person can walk through it. And then that's it, like, you know.
Yeah.
And but you hear these stories like from all over, and people go like, "Wow, you know, you guys making the money." It's like, no, people don't. You know, it's like, I mean, fair enough. I mean, because I'm lucky with my flat, right?
Again,
Right. If I worked here full time,
yeah.
I could be saving up about
If you worked here or walked here,
worked here. Yeah.
If you walked instead of taking public transportation,
Yeah.
you could have
No,
saved a lot too, you know?
No, but if I did like, you know, full-time job here, right? I could be saving about 500-600 euros a month. But that's because I don't spend that much.
Yeah, of course, I mean.
But
But with a full-time job, you'll probably be getting like 1,200 netto.
yeah, so about
Yeah,
1,200 plus the little tips here and there.
Oh, with tips like at Gorillas, full-time workers, they get about 300 per month, 300, 400 per month.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But and I could save like so much money like per month simply because I don't spend that much. But that's because I live alone. Yeah, I don't have any kids. But as soon as you got like, you know, you put somebody like a kid in the picture and something like this, and you kind of go like, wait a minute, this 600 euros doesn't look like this because now I have to buy food for two. Now, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's things like
Yeah,
this.
but there's a lot of other things you can get. Like there's a lot of different like Wohngeld or Kindergeld. Like
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like here, like people who even have the full-time jobs quite often still reliant on money from the government. This is the insanity of this kind of situation we have right now, which is like you still rely on the government.
Yeah, well, you pay a lot of taxes, and sure, you can rely on the government.
No, I think if you if you have a full-time job, right? If you're doing 40 hours a week, you should be able to take care at least about a family of 3.
Hey, wir würden gerne bezahlen auch, yeah?
You should be able to take care of at least about a family of 3.
Yeah.
And you can.
It's not possible.
No, on
On a
a
place, yeah.
well, family of 3, I mean, if you're willing to go away from like, you know, go to some place where it's like far away from the town center, like, and like quite often even out of like, you know, an hour's travel away from the city, and then you could probably find a cheap enough place for you to live. Then maybe, yeah, but
Yeah, apart from that, no.
no, just, you know, you buy a couple of travel cards for you and your second half. You know, you will start looking to buy more clothes, like, you know, things like this, and all of a sudden you just got nothing. Anyway, we're
anyways.
finished for now.
Yeah.
So I hope you could actually hear us, because we recorded the video. We don't know how this stuff works. But if I'll put it on, and if it works fine, then I'll put it on YouTube. It's probably going to be boring for most, but fuck it.
2 hours, come on. 2 hours.
You know, it's like.
Anyways, you
again,
gonna stop us or should I stop it?
yeah,
I'm stopping.